All right, everybody, and we are back. Before we jump into the next game, I do have a quick donation. Thank you so much to Dine Keto for that $6 donation, saying, thanks for hosting GOC, guys. Here's the total death tally I missed out on yesterday. I hope the runners and audience are having a good time. I know I am, and I hope everybody is going to have a fun time with our next game, Deliver Us to the Moon by Heponwana. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and kick it off to you. Good luck and have fun.
All right, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Heponwana. You might have saw me earlier in this event doing Stray on, I think is Tuesday afternoon / evening / night / whatever time zone you're in. This is Deliver Us the Moon. It's kind of a similar type of game in the sense that it is very atmospheric, very cool. There is going to be a flashing lights warning at the end of this run. I will let you know when it's coming because I always want to make sure runs are safe and fun for everyone to enjoy. I'll explain more about this game as we get going, but we might as well just get the run started. So to start the game, we select there and it'll ask us, are you sure you want to do this? You're going to reset everything and start from beginning, and that is of course what we want to do. So time begins in 3, 2, 1, go. So this is a game all about the future. It's in a dystopian nightmare world, kind of like Stray, so you might catch themes in games that I run. In this world, energy and environment are huge concerns for the Earth, much like our actual world. Be very mindful of your environmental impact. It's always good to be as good to this planet as you can be. So, in this game, there was a new energy source discovered where they could generate it on the moon using microwaves. They would transmit the energy down to Earth, and when that happened, by the way, we're in unskippable cutscene start, but we're about to actually go. All right, so we are going. This game is first person until it's not first person, then it's going to be third person. Get used to it. It kind of goes back and forth. It's interesting game. It's a lot of fun. So at one point, things went very wrong for the Earth, and we couldn't generate power on Earth without environmental impact being horrible, and so we generated energy on the moon using microwaves. But something happened on the moon that led to energy no longer existing. Earth is now a dust bowl, and we're trying to get to the moon. We need to deliver us the moon. That is where energy is. Hopefully, we need to figure out why energy stopped being generated on the moon years ago. And we're going to jump, take some damage. You recover rather quick. Whenever the screen is all squiggly like that, it means we are hurt, but you see it recovers quite quickly. And so right now, we are trying to get to the moon. To get to the moon, we need to launch a spaceship. So we're at this space station or launch pad, whatever you want to call it. We need to get on a rocket and get up to the moon. Everything's broken. It is much like the world we all know and love, where everything breaks and we just try and tolerate what we can. I played this game with keyboard and mouse occasionally, primarily with joystick. So there are faster ways to run this game than what I do, but they require almost entirely being keyboard and mouse. Jumping very high is something we are going to do a little bit of. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite get us to the moon, but once we're on the moon, we'll have some fun with some good high jumps. Hopefully you all have fun with this run. This is actually the very first time I have ran this at a speedrun event. I'm a huge fan of this game. So here's where we're going to use 3, 5, 4, 8. We're going to use keyboard a little bit. We'll use keyboard for entering buttons, because otherwise you could enter them moving your cursor around, and it's a pain. It is slow. You'll also notice that our cursor is very small. You typically will not even see it on the screen, which makes it very hard to aim things. We want to move that back because that little stair ramp was blocking our access to go up further into this place, but we will revisit that stair soon enough. If you play this game casually, the game takes about 7-ish hours to finish. If you play it speedrun, well, we are aiming for going quite a bit quicker than 7 hours. We are aiming for about an hour and a half, and we will actually go underestimate, I believe, because they recently changed the rules for when to call end time on this run, so that is kind of a cool thing. It's going to help us save about 1:35. So we are continuing to run around. Right now, we need to prepare our rocket for launch. We're also going to call this elevator. It might seem like we don't need it yet, but we do need it. So we need to adjust these 2 hydrogen vents. And the first one's on the right side, there's a second one on the left side, but we will not go that second one yet. Instead, we will ride this elevator. Why would we ride the elevator? Well, we want to grab those stairs from earlier. Remember those movable stairs that we moved out of our way? We kind of want them because we have a problem. We haven't seen it yet, but believe it or not, that elevator or that ladder to the other hydrogen vent is broken. And when we start climbing it, it would break, we'd fall down. But because we are psychic, we know that's coming, we're just going to move this over here and instead climb up the stairs. We don't need no elevator, I keep saying that. We don't need a ladder when we have a movable staircase. And now that we got the hydrogen taken care of, we can go in and tell the space shuttle that we are ready to launch. We will not see, by the way, we will not see any other people for a long time. We will have communication with people, but because of the nature of how bad the environment, the dust storms, all of that, most people are hiding away in shelters, in bunkers. We are the only real person wandering around trying to do things and be active in this very hostile environment.
The rocket is primed. You have to launch now, before the dust storm destroys the rocket and everything we've worked
We
for.
get a timer. By the way, anytime we get a timer in this game, if the timer is for a time greater than 1.5 minutes, we have all the time in the world. You don't need to worry about it. If you're playing casually, you will worry about it. If you're playing speedrun though, if it says 1.5 minutes, you're good. Don't worry about anything. All's going to work out. In fact, there's going to be a few times we're going to have no oxygen, or we're going to have like 3 minutes worth of oxygen. When we see 3 minutes of oxygen, we're good. We're just going to take it slow and easy. Speaking of taking it easy, we're now getting into our really cool ride, our space shuttle. We will be in this for a short, tiny bit. There's our little tiny crosshair. If you could see it in the middle of the screen, it is very tiny. I am going to switch over to keyboard and mouse for this part, if I could actually hit that, because it is a little easier to do this with keyboard and mouse. We want to get these all set up. If you're wondering what I'm doing, it's all right over there. They give you the instructions right up on the screen. And then we hit these. These ones are on a timer. If you go too slow, it's bad news and they'll reset. And then comes the big cool lever. Everyone loves this lever. It's the one that sends us to the stars. So, if you are ever playing this game casually, take your time, don't rush through it. It's a really cool story. There's a lot of cool things going on, and it is atmospheric as can be. This game, if I'm not streaming it, you could really pump the graphics on this. This game has some amazing visuals for being an indie title. It's the type of thing that will push a 4000 series NVIDIA card. It will push it into very hot temperatures. It's a real cool game. Also, the story just gets really cool. A lot of real good sci-fi stuff going on. And if you ever play this speedrunning, I say join us. It's a very fun speedrun game. It's a lot of fun play through this. There's some real cool glitches if you like playing with glitches. There are some, oh no, if you play non-glitch, I primarily play non-glitch because I do controller for most movement, and most of the glitches require keyboard and mouse. But the difference between a very glitch-heavy run and a glitch-light run is maybe about 25 minutes or so. It's a real fun experience. And if you do speedrun it, we play with load time removed for the leaderboard. So LRT time is typically about a minute or so, depending on your computer, your hard drives, all of that. It's about a minute or so quicker than what we're going to see in real time. There's a few load times in this game. And right now we're pretty much just in an unskippable cutscene because this is all about the atmosphere of being up in a space shuttle going to the moon.
We need to head down to the shelter. These winds are getting bad. Understood.
And here comes the title of the game.
Radio contact. You'll be on your own for a while.
Let's enjoy the title being said. There they did. They did it. They said the title. All right. So we don't need to look at our objective. Oh, instead, what I need to do is pay attention and start turning these switches. I almost forgot what I was doing for a second there. All right. We hit those switches, and now we're going to get our late title card because there's nothing like a game having a late title card. And we're on our way, but before we go to the moon, we are first going to go to a space station, pretty much a space elevator going around, orbiting the moon, or being above the moon, whatever you want to say. It is Sunday night. My brain does not want to do the whole lexicon thing, use the proper words and whatnot. But here comes our first loading screen. So if we were doing this as a speed run for the leaderboards, we would actually subtract the time of that loading screen, makes it nice and fair and even so that whatever is going on with your computer doesn't put you at a disadvantage. So as we come into this space station around the moon, we are going to first need to bring us in. So we're going to try and line up. Yellow is good. And so we're going to just bring us in, dock with this space station, and then we're going to have the one thing I am not a huge fan of in this game, first person. The first person, if you're playing keyboard and mouse, really good. If you're playing controller primarily, it's a little bit sloppier. But we're going to make do. I personally don't have good coordination when it comes to keyboard and mouse, so I am perfectly fine being a touch slower and having more fun and just playing with the controller. So we're waiting for this door to open. We're not just staring at a wall for no reason. It will open in a second. And you do have a flashlight in this game. Make sure you do take advantage of it. I like to have it running almost all the time because it just makes it a whole lot easier to see what the heck you are doing. All right, so we are in this space station, the Pearson Space Station. We are going to hit this button, open this airlock, and we are now going to have only 3 minutes of air. Like I said earlier, if you ever have 3 minutes, you have all the time in the world. We're going to grab this. This is kind of a battery of sorts. And we are going to use that to open this door. There's more air if we want it. I'll grab it. We don't need it. Because, like I said, anytime you're given 3 minutes, no matter how drastic it sounds, you don't need to worry about it. I use my mouse there a little bit. I'll jump around to using keyboard and mouse and using controller, whatever is appropriate. We're going to put that right there. Now we'll grab that one. If we brought this one earlier, it would have closed the door and we wouldn't have gotten through. So we need that one to keep the door open. And now that we don't need to go through that door anymore, we'll go over here and we will use this. We're just using batteries to power things up. We'll hit this, we'll tell it to reboot our life support. Life support is coming online, and now we're done with needing all of that air. Or having the 3-minute timer on our air, I should say. And so, at this point, what we're trying to do is get down to the moon from here, but we're also trying to figure out what happened. Why did power disappear? We used to get microwaved power from the moon, and now it's no more. So we need to figure out what happened to everyone here. There used to be people working the power plants. What happened to those people? And by the way, we are going to need to put in another passcode coming up. I'm going to rotate like this so it's easier. 2539 is going to be our password coming up. There are places to find passwords, but no, we're just going to know them off the top of our head. So 2539. Wow. As I fat finger that. There we go. It's all good. Lose a couple of seconds there, but nothing too bad, and we're still going to be nice and fast. So right here, we're asking it to reestablish connection with the microwave power plant on the moon, because pretty much power would be generated on the moon, come up the space elevator to this place, and then it would get beamed from here to the Earth, and the beaming is not happening, and we want to know what is up. Whoa, and for some reason that didn't. There we go. That went a little bit awkward. It's all good. A little bit of those marathon jitters. So right here, we're going to use a robot arm to cut these little locks so we could get into the next area. And of course, that little thing for cutting those locks is pretty cool. It'd be cool if we had it. So guess what? We have it. And just like any kid would do, we get a new toy and we're just going in a cutscene, start shooting it around, because who cares about shooting a laser cutter? I mean, you don't need to be safe with those or anything. And then we will pop these so we could get through here. You don't need to cut all of them. Once again, we have 3 minutes. There is oxygen down there, but we don't care about that oxygen. And this is one place where I use controller and mouse. So I'll use the mouse for the aiming, but the controller for a lot of my movement, because it is a lot easier to aim using that mouse. And that lets us get through here a whole lot quicker. And once again, pop off some more of these, and we open this, hit the button. We don't need to worry about air. We had 3 minutes of air and we only used 54 seconds of it. Like I said, anytime it gives a 3-minute timer, you don't need to worry about it. 3 minutes is more than enough time. Even playing casually, you will never really run out of air unless you make an effort to try to run out. Anything that glows like that, you could scan. That is part of the casual run. We are definitely not scanning on this run. We are going fast. And once again, using our cutter, we're going to cut this open. Cut in emergency. I'd call it an emergency. We want to avoid these things. They will spark us, and sparking us is painful. We will get hurt quite a few times in this run. Whoa. My mouse did, hey, come on, panel, don't block me. And we turn off the electricity. And we can now get through this little passageway. This passageway right here leads towards the life support system. We're going to use this area to get things rotating, because if we could rotate this moon base a little bit, we could get down to the moon. This right here is just a few puzzles to solve. The puzzles involve cutting these cables, and some of them will involve electrified cables, and then the final one will involve electrified cables and cutting cables, because this game wants to make sure you learned all the lessons that it is showing you along the way, even though we will never really have to worry about these cables ever again. But it wants us to learn our lesson. Here we avoid these electrified cables. They can kill us, so we want to avoid them, but they won't kill us. You know why they won't kill us? Because we're just going to get through here nice and fast and move on. And final one is going to be cutting cables and electrified cables, both at the same time. We're just going to cut a bunch of these. That should hopefully be enough of them. And once you pull that out, the cables stop being electrified and all is, ooh, careful. Oh, I hit the wrong button there. Moving in 3 dimensions can be a little on the tricky side. So we're going to wait a second for computers catch up. We shifted power around and whatnot. We'll turn off our flashlight for a second so it can recharge while we're going through this. And then we are going to have our first moment of excitement coming up real soon. But first we got to get through here. We're going to set this up to cut these right away. And there we go. Cut open. And we are back in that corridor we were earlier. We need to get to Libra or Libra. I'm not used to Libra being spelled with a Y. This is like about the only game I know of where I've seen that, but that might just be a me thing. So we're going to head down here, back where we were earlier, and everything should be good. No drama, no excitement, except for we're going to have things go catastrophically wrong in just a second. So we go over here, activate this computer, tell it to rotate the place. All should be good, but instead, things go a little off the rails. And we kind of blew the place up. So this game has QuickTime events. Unlike a lot of games with QuickTime events where if you hit the button early, you're penalized, you're not on this game. So right here, start hitting the X button. Just keep tapping that X button over and over, and we're just going to grab onto this just like that. There are going to be a couple times we have QuickTime events in this run, and we could just, set them up early. So right now we only have 11 seconds of oxygen. So guess what? That means we do actually have to grab these canisters. So we're just going to keep aiming. You should see in the up ahead of me are some things with yellow. Yellow is always going to be those air canisters. We're just going to set up to grab those yellow canisters. Just like that. We have about 30 seconds here. And we'll just keep grabbing these. We're going to work our way back to Pearson Space Station. All will be fine. I mean, we might have blown it up a little bit, but we'll be fine. Look at all that oxygen there. So many cylinders. That is perfect. That's just what I need. Oh, and they are gone. but it's okay. We're going to just pop this open real quick. And just continue on our merry way. This game sets up a lot of moments of high drama, high tension, like running out of oxygen. And truth be told, outside of maybe one moment in this game, nothing is all that tension-filled. As long as you take a breath and just let it wash over you. And of course, anytime we're in space, everything gets extra quiet. Because this game wants to follow some realism, and that realism is in space. There is no sound. And so, it's pretty quiet except for this kind of tense music, getting the adrenaline going. And we're about to be done with Pearson. We're going to ride the space elevator down to the moon. So we're just going to go through here, hit that button, and we're going to ride the elevator down the hole. And there we go. No need to worry about running out of oxygen. No need to worry about anything. Everything's good and safe. We're also going to have another loading screen, another quick load. And that'll set us back into third-person view, which is, in my opinion, a lot more fun on this game. First person is typically done with, no gravity, and that could be kind of a little tense to deal with. Having all those dimensions of movement, it's a lot to deal with. But anytime we are in third person, typically we're not free floating, so it's a little more easy map what you're doing in your brain and in your hands to the controller. So this here is the MPT control center. This is essentially the base of operations for the moon base, where the power was sent up to Pearson and sent down to the Earth. And of course, we are still on that mission to restore power to the Earth. That is our big goal. Also, our goal is to jump over counters because we don't want to walk around them. Walking around's too slow. So right here, we're going to explore this area, try and figure out what happened. Actually, we're not going to try and figure out what happened. We're just going to run through it as quick as possible. We're going to watch a little story scene right here. You cannot leave this room, even if you wanted. We are trapped in here for right now. You get these cutscenes. It's essentially memories that were recorded on the space station security logs. You could watch these. There's a bunch of them in the game if you want to play through 100%. A lot of cool story from these. This is the only one we're going to watch. Or at least the only one we're going to watch with any attention. There's a couple that might pop up a little bit that we're going to ignore completely. But this one right here, we have to watch it. As soon as it ends, we're able to grab this little robot buddy. One fun thing on this game, you could pick the colors for your robot buddy so that the little pink parts on it, and then the color of the body can be either white or black. I like going with the pink on the highlight, the blue right there for the eye, because trans rights are human rights, and I love those trans pride colors. And this cutscene is done. We will grab our little robot buddy, and this will be our buddy going forward. We are going to be best friends with this robot for the rest of the game. And earlier I mentioned I ran Stray earlier this week for Game Over Cancer. This game is a lot like Stray, where you have this atmospheric area, but also you're going to have a little floating robot buddy for the whole game. But first, we need to fix our robot buddy. So first, we need to get some parts to repair him. Along the way, I am going to stand too close to cut that. Did not mean get that close. There we go. We're going to cut that open right now. It is quicker doing it that way. And we're going to do a little repair work on our robot buddy. So we are going to take this part, put that there, put that there, and put that there. We're going to try and fire him up. Or, nope. There we go. For some reason, I was not hitting the right parts.
Proceeding with ASE hardware diagnostic. ASE thruster status. Defective. Full thruster replacement.
So we're going to wait for this cycle through. Activate the robot real quick so it starts opening while we are running in here. Grab these parts. And we're going to have one more little repair mini game. So we will start by putting that on there. Wrong part. I always grab the wrong part right there. For some reason, this game always gets into my head just a little bit. And then we do that and put that part back on, and we will reboot our robot buddy. And there we go. Now we are going to have a companion for the rest of the game. Unlike with Stray, where our little floating robot buddy was a source of wisdom and camaraderie, this little robot buddy, don't know why it didn't want to interact at first. This little robot buddy will not talk with us, but still is kind of a cool little friendly friend. Like I said, you could pick whatever colors you want. The body has to be black or white, but the eyeball light and the highlight colors, you can pick whatever you want from a RGB set of RGB sliders. So it's kind of a cool little thing. So we could control our robot buddy and send him into places we cannot go on our own. We're a little too big. I mean, we all try and watch our weight and, all of that, but sometimes you end up just too big to crawl through these tiny little hamster mazes of tubes and tunnels. And then we will go over here, activate that, head up here, activate that, and we will have power restored to this space station. Robot Buddy is the best buddy, and honestly, without saying anything, becomes so much of it has personality. It is your friend. So also your friend can open doors for you. So we're going to open that door. And look at that, our little buddy's going to follow along with us. It's going to be with us this whole run. It is going to be our best friend. So, right now we are going to tell this computer, hey, what is up with the microwave transmitter, microwave power transmitter, MPT? And it's going to tell us, hey, there's something wrong with a lot of things, so you need to get to the vehicle bay. Unfortunately, the vehicle bay, remember these batteries from earlier, we're going to close off maintenance, which is where we were. We need 2 of these to open the vehicle bay. So all we could do is go crew quarters. We'll go there. By the way, fun fact, one of the space stations was founded in 2032. You know why that's important? Because we need to know that for that. So there is a robot buddy in here who has a bad behavior issue. Look, this guy has attitude, and he's going to try and shoot us. And he will shoot us once. Also, when we entered the crew quarters, it could have shot us through the walls, because this game will allow it to shoot us through the walls sometimes. But we'll remove the battery from it and move on. Also, if we played through this, paying attention, story elements and all that, we'd end up learning that ASE, you know, that robot buddy back there with the bad attitude, actually shot somebody who is very important to the story, causing them to be stranded after everyone evacuated this place. But that's part of the story, and we're not here for the story. We're here for beautiful sights and getting through the moon and delivering the moon, and also some vehicular scenes. So right here, we are driving a little lunar buggy. Gotta park all 6 tires on these little spots so it will open the door. We'll do that again. And then we are going to be out on the moon. I honestly love the visuals of being on the moon. This game is truly a feast for the eyes. Unfortunately, I have to turn down the visuals a bit for streaming this because it really pushes the CPU and GPU and all of that. So we're going off to these little these mini microwave power transmitters, little mini MPTs. And so first one is right here. There's 2 for this area, and we just want to park right there. This will start opening up. We will run through, hit the airlock button. Like I said, anytime you have a 3-minute timer for air, you have all the time in the world. We're just going to continue through without worrying about time or any of that. We're also going to start seeing some other hazards here. Not on this one necessarily, but on the next one. And once again, 3 minutes. You have all the time you need. Enjoy the view, though. It is such a beautiful environment here. There's oxygen back there if you wanted it. I don't want it. It's a time waste. Anytime you get 3 minutes, typically outside of one moment in the game, anything with 3 minutes tends to take just a hair over 1 minute. So don't even worry about it. All right, up we go. We're going to align the first MPT to transmit some power back to that space station, moon base that we were at. There's our little buddy. I love our little buddy. So we're just going to move this over. You're going to hit X when it lines up. Start hitting X early. Just start mashing it because there is no penalty in mashing buttons ahead of time. Fire off some energy over there. The game is nice enough and good enough that we are just going to teleport down to our lunar buggy. Really nice of the game. Do that. A little backup so we could turn around. And we're going to the second MPT. In this game, honestly, just driving the lunar buggy, you have all the time in the world to drive it if you're playing casually, and it is just fun taking it around. You can't die. It's just enjoying some very beautiful scenery. It's stark, it's bleak, but it is breathtaking. So this one's going to introduce a little bit more of a challenge. We're going to go through a total of 4 of these MPT transmitters along the game. This is second one. The next 2 are coming up in a while. They're not anytime too soon, but each one becomes just a tiny bit more complicated. We'll run through here. We'll hit this button. So what I did right there is if we need our buddy to open that door, but if our robot buddy was not with us and the door closed on the airlock and it was outside, we have a way we could summon our robot buddy by hitting select and X. The alternative is you try and wait for your robot buddy to get into the airlock, but waiting, that's not what speedrunning's all about. So we're just going to keep moving nice and fast. We will summon our robot buddy with our in-game no glitches buttons. Here's some thermal vents. Those will probably cause us some pain, so we'll just go through it as quick as possible. Visuals got a little bit silly right there, which definitely means we went through a little bit of pain, but all is good. And of course, on the note of pain, cancer is a pain, so if you haven't done so yet, if you do have the ability, consider donating. We are raising money to get rid, or to at least try and get rid of cancer from this world. You know, to fight cancer. Cancer is horrible, so consider donating if you can. And of course, there's a few more runs coming up after mine. You have plenty of time left. I should also add, if I do die during this run I shouldn't die, but anytime I say that, I end up dying on games. If I do die, I'm donating $10 per death. Doesn't matter how bad it gets out of control. I've had it where I've had great runs where I didn't die any on this, and I've had runs where I ended up dying like, about a dozen times. Luckily, it shouldn't affect my estimate all that much. It's just kind of tragic when it happens, because, you know, you don't like showing off dying on a speed run when you're not doing like death abuse or anything like that. But if I die, $10 per death. Expect most of the deaths at the final chapter of the game. I should also explain the categories for this game. So I'm running any percent full game. So if there's any percent full game, there's got to be a 100%. And that there is, nobody runs it. 100% is collecting all of the collectibles, scanning everything you could scan. There's a lot of stuff, and I don't know. I don't have the patience to try and learn that. I just came in way too hot and fast. All right, there we go. But there's also any percent and full game Fortuna. So this game was originally a Kickstarter game. And when it came out as a Kickstarter game, originally it did not have the final chapter of the game. So the final third of the game did not exist. And so the original category was for any percent Fortuna. And that was just getting to where the final chapter comes in. It saves about 30 minutes. If you ever want a speed run that's an hour or less, any percent Fortuna, perfect one. A lot of fun doing it. And then, of course, if you do go through to full game, like we're going to do on this run, full game throws in some scenes of high tension, high drama. Things start getting a lot more nerve-wracking. There is some Metal Gear Solid stealth espionage stuff that goes on, in a way. No people, but you're dodging sentry drones and whatnot. Once again, if you caught my Stray run the other day, this game has so much in common with Stray, despite being 100% different. It's kind of a cool thing where you have two games completely different that are so the same. All right, our monorail has power. We're going to ride. For some reason, when you get into your monorail seat, it starts looking up at the ceiling. You're probably like, what am I looking at? What we should be looking at is this. And at our little buddy right there. Look at him. So we pick up along the way a lot of these audio logs, and it'll say go ahead and hit whatever button to play them. This is the only one we will play because it plays automatically. I mentioned earlier that ASE that was shooting at people shot someone and caused them to not be able to evacuate this base when everyone else did. That would be this person, Sarah Baker.
The reasons for this attack remain unclear. It seems my expedition
So Sarah Baker was left behind
I am unable to
and is trying to solve where the power
for
went.
any of the other facilities.
She also is recording all this like 2 or 3 years in the past from where we're at.
Get the Tombow. Try to figure
So
out
it's a real good story element of I'm following in the footsteps of someone else.
try to contact me.
By the way, fun thing, this little space or this little moon base right here, this monorail stop, it should take casually about 30 to 60 minutes. We're going to finish it in like a minute. We're just going to tear through this like it's nothing. So if you want to see what this area is like, I'm sorry, you're not going to see it. We're going to run over here. We're going to hit 1881. We're going to open monorail door. It won't open. We're going to open a door to maintenance. Maintenance is open. We're going to take our little robot buddy. Our robot buddy is going to go up here. Our robot buddy is going to hit 2, 3, 4, 4. 2, 3, 4, 4, and we're going back to us, and we're going to run back to our monorail, and we're leaving. What happened? Who cares? We're done. Moving on. Speed running. You don't need to worry about things. You just keep moving. Pretty much, there was a security walkout for this monorail station because whatever is on the other side of it is a base called Tombo. Tombo is where the energy was generated, and it also was a site of something that happened story-wise. And the story-wise thing that happened, I'm not going to get into it for this run. I'll just say things happen. Oh yeah, also quick time events. So we're going to start mashing the left trigger right now. And when screen has something red on it, it means we're about there, and we're going to have to hit the left trigger then, so I'll just hit it right now and repeatedly hit it. But something happened at Tombo, and they sealed off access to it, so we had to restore access at that last place. We restored it, all is fine, and so red thing on the screen, and we're just going to turn left. Now we start hitting the right trigger. So we're trying to get a Tombo now to figure out what happened, and also that's where Sarah Baker was headed, the person from that audio clip. And we're going to try and figure out what she learned, what's going on. Look at my little robot buddy is like, dude, I don't know what's going on, but I'm frightened. And we're mashing X to pull the brake. I love our robot buddy so much. I mean, I honestly I just want to I want one of those little ASCs. They are so darn cute. Oh, once again, we're going to be out without air. We have 3 minutes. You all remember what 3 minutes means. Don't worry about the time. Yeah, no oxygen. We will just go right here. And we will cut this open. We will run through to here. And I'm just switching one hand from controller to the mouse. And then we will just, once again, pop all of these open. Sometimes the game gets a little frantic. Oh, did I miss one? There we go. The battery right here is expired. We're going to pull it out. By the way, achievement is available in this game to carry that expired battery with you the entire rest of this area, almost like the companion cube in Portal, if you know that one. Sorry, ASE, but you need to stay behind. ASE staying behind lets us get over here, and then that way we don't get fried by those electric cables, and we get our air back. And there we go. That is it for our frightening 3 minutes of air. We only used up about 1 minute and 4 seconds. Another case of diagnosing some MPT towers. The MPTs, once again, are not lined up. They're never lined up. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to do the same thing we did before and line up those MPT towers. So we'll head over here. And if we were playing any percent Fortuna instead of any percent full game, we would actually be almost at the end of the run. But we've got a little time left. In fact, we've got about 40 minutes left on this. And in fact, the final 30 minutes are where all of the adrenaline, the suspense, the shock, the excitement, all of that comes in. So once again, we're going to ride our little lunar buggy. This is also the final section with these towers and the lunar buggies. Don't worry, this is not a game of just repeating MPT towers and lunar buggies. So we're going to head over this one. There's also one right over there. That one looks kind of bad. It's kind of tilted. Probably not a good thing. Good thing we don't need to go there. That is definitely not foreshadowing. You know, the whole, that one looks bad and decrepit. Yeah, we're going to go there. You already know it. I know it, you know it, we all know it. Nope. Oh, there we go. Jumped out when I thought we were good, and we weren't quite good. Once again, I want to call my buddy, because my buddy did not get through the airlock in time, so I did that little menuing to call him in. And he opened the door for us. This is going to be a little bit more dramatic and difficult than the previous one, which was a little more dramatic and difficult than the one before it. And I'm willing to bet you could guess what the final one, that tilted one, is going to be. Even more dramatic. Remember, never make things less dramatic as you go along, just make them more dramatic. And of course, as always, 3 minutes of oxygen, who cares? So we'll run through these thermal vents, whatever. We will take damage in this run. Damage is nothing to worry about because you do heal it very quick. And once again, we used 1 minute and 2 seconds of our oxygen. We don't use it anymore once we're in this weird chair. There's our buddy waiting for us, and we're going to bring this tower, line it up with Reinhold Station. And what's that? Is it out of range? Okay, we'll send it to the other one. So we send it to this other tower. And you're going to notice something about this tower. It looked a little leany before. Well, the thing about it being a little leanish is it's not in good shape. So at this point, we don't have oxygen, but also we have a timer because that tower is falling down. So once again, when we get to that tower, we'll have 3 minutes of no oxygen to climb up to the top, but we're already counting down our time. So the 3 minutes doesn't mean anything. It's just there to put a little drama on this run. And sometimes drama is good. You know, don't make bad drama in life, but, you know, ooh, that was, oh no. There we go. I was lined up really silly on that one. In fact, I was not really on those. I don't know why it gave me that. Thank you, game, for giving me credit for that, because that was bad. So we're going to go outside the airlock. We're going to have 3 minutes of oxygen, but only 1 minute 58 before everything collapses. So I don't think I need to worry about that oxygen. However, I do need to worry about my jumps, because you can die on these jumps or on those electric cables hitting you. And all it takes is just a bad lineup for a jump or a ladder or something, and you just die instantly. So up we go. We're going now line this one up. As time ticks down to make us super nervous. I'm not too nervous. I think we'll be fine. And away we go. And as always, we could just keep mashing the X button. Once it lines up, it'll go. It will not penalize us for mashing it early. So there we go. Everything's fine. There is no way anything could go bad from here on out, so we're all good. And by saying nothing could go wrong here, you know, something is gonna go wrong. Something is going to go very wrong. So that battery I mentioned earlier, if you're playing casually, if you brought that battery with you and parked it under the tower and it got crushed by the tower, I believe you get an achievement for that. See, Robot Buddy, no dialogue, but it's like, you could tell it's right now going, hey, friend, get up, please. Please, friend. And see, you get up and it kind of blinked like, oh, look at that. Robot Buddy loves us. And I love Robot Buddy. And Robot Buddy, okay, less than 3 minutes. We've got to grab the oxygen that we come across. And I mean, Robot Buddy is, at least in my game, rocking those colors. Very based. Robot Buddy is the good buddy. So will we have enough oxygen to make it? It looks kind of close. If only something would come my way. Oh, I don't know if I want that coming my way. Nah, kidding. I do want it coming my way because it had an oxygen in it. And there we go. We are now back in here. We'll go up. We'll go through the airlock back into the vehicle bay. And if we were playing any percent Fortuna, we are actually at the end of the game. But we're playing full game, so we've got a little bit of time left. We've got a little bit of game left. But Fortuna would have time being right there. But that is not where we're calling time, because we're going the full game. We're going overtime. We're going to see this through to the end. Right here we see that there were 3 escape shuttles. 2 of them escaped. Here's Sarah Baker. So Sarah Baker was one of 2 people who was working on the Pearson station, that orbital moon station. And the other person was Rolf. And Rolf and Sarah both worked on Pearson. Something went wrong on the surface of the moon at Tombau and at all the other places. And so when they went down to the moon, figure out what happened, they were told to evacuate. Sarah got shot by that bad-tempered robot buddy. That bad-tempered ASE shot her. She passed out, woke up a while later, and that's where her adventure began. Meanwhile, Rolf, her companion, escaped and got back to the Earth. And we don't know anything about what happened to Rolf until, if you have subtitles on, you learn in just a minute what happened to Rolf. But only if you have subtitles on. Ready for it? What happened to Rolf? Subtitles will tell.
I'm on my way, Sarah. I'll find you.
You were Rolf. And you're not just going to the moon to try and save the Earth and find power and solve the mystery and make everything right. You went back to the moon because you want to find out what happened to your good friend and coworker, Sarah. And if this was the original release, you'd be left with a cliffhanger right now as your monorail rides off. You don't know what happened, and that's it. But luckily, they completed the game, made the full game. They also made a sequel. There is a game called Deliver Us Mars. I have not played it yet. I do know it has a speedrun board. Probably a game I'm going to pick up next year, because Deliver Us the Moon is so much fun and so beautiful. Like, speedrunning this is... I love astronomy, and all of this stuff just almost brings tears to my eyes in all the good ways. So, I'll probably be, maybe you'll see me doing for Game Over Cancer next year. I might submit Deliver Us Mars, possibly. And so, this is the last load screen of the game, assuming we don't die. Like I said, if I die, $10 per death, a donation, without a doubt, without hesitation. Hopefully, I don't die. But Tombo, which makes up the last third of the game and the last chapter, has a lot of things that really want to kill Rolf.
I can't help. But we're at the end of the line, Rolf. We could use some...
That's where you learn he's Rolf without subtitles. However, at the same time, if you were playing the original release, you wouldn't know he's Rolf at all without subtitles. It's always interesting when playing with subtitles on gives you a little bit more information.
Warning, obstruction detected.
So, like I said, everything wants to kill you in this last chapter, including the monorail. The tracks have a little bit of a problem to them. Like, they kinda stop. Luckily, we won't let that get us down. Luckily, because if we went down, probably would die in the monorail. So we are going to cut this and evacuate. If you do things good, speedrunning, you could do some out-of-bounds work right back there. I have had the worst luck trying to get the out-of-bounds to work for me. So going out-of-bounds can save you, about, I believe, 40 seconds. We are not going out-of-bounds. Instead, we're going to do this how it's intended. As you go along, something scan, we're not doing 100%. That thing there will give you your oxygen back. We are not getting our oxygen back. We are instead, like I always say, 3 minutes, more than enough oxygen. We're going to have almost 1 minute of oxygen left. If you notice the stream getting a little choppy at points, it's actually how the game runs on my computer. It gets a little bit framey in this last area. I'm not sure if it's poor optimization or what, but we'll have a few moments of a little bit of framiness. So we will run up here. We are now in Tombo. Tombo is where energy is made. Oh, so right here we want to send our little robot buddy through. He is going to turn off security for us. Otherwise, running through here would shut everything down because we are not, scanning our ID card or whatever it is you require from security there. Also, if you notice on the ground, there are Roombas. There are vacuums that should be cleaning the place. Some are working, some are not. We'll come across them every once in a while. There's one of those Roombas, or that actually might have been an ASC that's dead. So we're going to be a little destructive right here, and we are going to enter into the area that should be kind of a stealth game, almost like a Metal Gear Solid type of experience. Because we are up to no good. Security is not going to be happy with us. Our goal here, we want to be fast, and if we get seen, and we will get seen, we only want to get shot once. One shot, we survive, like that ASE back at the beginning of the game, or in the first half of the game. If we get shot twice, we die. And if that happens, first off, I'll donate $10, but also, we lose a lot of time. So, we are going to get through this very dangerous area. The main goal here, be very, very quick. So hopefully this goes good. This guy is going to see us right here. And we made it. So we want to get through this control center. By the way, you are meant to do that far more stealthy. We don't need stealth. So we need to pretty much, you'll notice up above that one doorway, things were looking cracked. We need to bring something heavy to destroy that cracked area. So we got to bring it up above. There is a cargo elevator we will use to bring something up above. And then we will use a catwalk to smash into that thing and break it open. If we were playing normal, we are going glitch. We are going glitch to save, a minute or so, maybe more than that. So we will first go back to that area we were just in with the horrible drones trying to kill us. And we will glitch and go through here. Using that battery, we opened up this side, the sleep quarters. And we will run over here. We need to discover a password, but guess what? We don't need no password. I already know it, so we will just rush through here, go down here into a weight room, open that, and right here we need the password, which is 8662, and now we are going to try and glitch this game in some really fun ways. Hopefully this works the first time. We will see how this goes. Nope, I meant to do not quite. All right, so we are meant to crash this into that area up there. But we are trying to move it so that it flies. Nope. We are trying to get this where it just flies up there. No. Pardon me, I normally do not have it go this rough on me. Let's try and just reset this. Come on. Well, that went flying. Not quite how it was meant to go. Pardon me, I normally do not have nearly... There we go. So, that took about as long as it should have without glitching. We want to bring it up to a catwalk that is up there and drop the catwalk on it. Or drop the end of the catwalk. This is where a game gets extra framey. This is not the stream. This is the game itself, just getting framey as can be. But we want to drop that from the catwalk into that broken area, and we would be able to get through. But for some reason, it did not want to behave nearly as nice as I wanted it to. By trying to interact with it while standing on it, you try and push it, but you clip through into it, and it causes physics to do physics stuff. And that's why it ended up getting flung like it did. And by it flying like that, you save, all the time to get it up that catwalk. So to get up to the catwalk, that battery we changed earlier, we would have to change back. And yes, this area is flooded. Oh, not that one. I wanted this one. That was silly. So we will go over here, open this up. But we are probably about done with glitches for the most part. There are a couple fun glitches up in this game that require keyboard and mouse. Like I said, I don't have fun playing games keyboard and mouse, except for a few exceptions. You know, I like a first-person shooter keyboard and mouse, but not a third-person action game. So, no keyboard and mouse for me, so we miss out on some of the glitches, but we still have a great time playing. At this point, we are trying to find some helium. Helium-3 is what's used to power this power plant, and they come in canisters, a lot like this one, except if they're orange, they're empty. We're going to use this to power this up. So we're looking for some helium-3 to power the power plant here, because if we could power the power plant, we could restore power to Earth. How many times can I say power in a row? And so we are looking for a full-powered helium container. And we will find one, but not yet. We're going to find some empties. Don't jump in there while it's electrified. That blue part on that rotating thing is electric. So when the blue part touches the water, we definitely want to be out of the water. Good news, we're out of the water. We're not going to get fried. We are going to do a little bit of a glitch coming up right here. We're meant to have, once again, a dead battery as like our best friend. By the way, great story moment back there if you ever want to check it out. If we stand on these pressure plates, they will open doors. If we don't stand on it to get through the door, then the door's not open. So come on, there we go. We are going to have this battery right here. And we could use it to power these pressure pads and go around and find a helium canister. We're going to find the last remaining helium canister. But instead, we're actually going to use this as a jump pad. Put this on that little piece of rubble. Oh, come on. I don't know why there we go. Use it, and we could jump off of it. You are not supposed to stand on one of those energy packs, one of those batteries, but we could stand on that one because it is put in the right geometry that the game didn't know how to handle it. This is going to send this falling down, but also remember how I said we were going to find a canister of helium that was good? There it is. It just teleported in because we were meant to stand on it to get up here, not on that battery. And because of that, we were able to just spawn it in because it is required as part of that cutscene transition. And so we are finally going to power up the power plant, which solves half of our problems. Well, solves 1/3 of our problems. 1/3, get power going. 1/3, get that power back to Earth. And 1/3, what happened to Sarah? So here we're going to power up the power plant, which is very dangerous. We need to run through it, and we are going to glitch and go out of bounds. So this is trying to kill us. We're going to run here, hit a wall, stop, move slow, and then move around, and we will go right through there and skip the long route around that room. This thing is now putting out these pulses of doom, and we're just going to keep going. We'll take a hit, and we will rest, and then we are going to run past the next one. We'll take a hit, and we will rest. If you're really good at the right line of movement, you could run through and actually avoid getting the need for rest. I can never hit that line quite right. We'll go here. We will activate this elevator. We're heading up to where we could start transmitting the power. However, like I said before, everything's falling apart here. Everything is collapsing, including this elevator we're on. And we're going to end up in more of the reactor, and things are going to go real bad for us. So everything is going bad already. We're going to look right here because we are going to want to cut these. And once again, 3 minutes. We do not want to get hit by this thing. It will kill us instantly. We are going to wait for this one. 3 minutes. It's all the time in the world. I'm going mouse again. Wait for it. Go. And if you're worried about your oxygen, hey, right up here is a recharge thing. Guess what I'm not doing? Recharging my oxygen. I'm in a hurry. I'm a speedrunner. Speedrunning, it means never worrying about time limits. They're arbitrary. They're there to add tension, not to actually be important. Although, actually, you do really cut this super close. So if you make any mistakes, you do need to get oxygen. On the bright side, there is another oxygen thing right there. But we're not going for it. We need to wait for this. There we go. And we will get our air back right here. All right, flashing light warning. If you are sensitive to flashing lights, please look away more or less for the rest of this next like 3 minutes or so. I'll tell you when it's done, but we're going to have a lot of flashing lights. Things are going to be a lot more intense than we have right now, and it's going to get worse and worse. So if you are photosensitive, please do look away. And I will let you know when it's done. Also, we are about 5 minutes from the ending, maybe less. I'm always bad at judging my time quite at this point. All right. So once again, you have a long timer. It's more than enough time to do things. We have a 2 minute and change timer. We're going to get through this. But there is no running. We're hurt. We're injured. Bad news all around. And lights are really weird. So once again, if you are photosensitive, please do not look at the screen yet. I will let you know when it's all good. And I'll even narrate what we're doing. So right here, we are using a joystick to move our satellite transmitter or our microwave transmitter. We are trying to line it up. However, we are losing consciousness during this. So every time we kind of black out, we lose control and we kind of slam the control without our input in a bad direction. And so we are trying to keep this lined up long enough. It's not a hit X to make it happen. It's instead keep it lined up, and there's a little meter filling up in the middle. And we lose consciousness. It starts moving in a bad direction. And it tends to move the absolute worst possible direction. We are almost there. We have 50 seconds left. We are going to do this. However, we're also going to have far worse light effects coming up. So like I said, if you are photosensitive, please do keep looking away because it's about to be very bad. And we're going to go ahead and throw a button as soon as it lets us, or throw a lever. The lights are going to keep being wonky for a little bit more. Very bad right here, so definitely don't look away, because I want to make sure everyone can enjoy speedruns. The only cutscene we can skip, and we've got a little bit of talking. Hold on 1 second. As soon as it gives me control back, almost time, almost. Also, time is coming up very soon. As soon as I hit a button in a couple rooms, it's like a minute-ish. And we're done with flashing lights, but we do have weird visual effect. Not quite flashing light. And time will be coming up in about, 30-ish seconds, I want to say, as soon as I hit a button in the next room. So, hold on, almost passing out. Okay, waking up again. And time is coming up, not this room, sorry, I meant one more room. And we're almost passing out. Rolf is not feeling good. All right, so as soon as we hit a button in this room, so about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. And that is the end of Deliver Us the Moon. At this point, just so you have a little bit of good closure, it's Sarah. She is stable. She's in cryogenic sleep. All is fine. For her, not for Rolf. Rolf is not good. Also, it used to be, up until about 4 or 5 days ago, time was not when you hit that button, but instead at an arbitrary moment during this cutscene. That's a minute 35 after your last button input. I'm so happy they changed the official end time, because it should be when you can no longer impact the game, not, after a cutscene. So that's always cool. But yeah, right here, Robot Buddy is best buddy. He's there with you the whole time. No dialogue, but you kind of just want to give it a hug. You kind of want to love the little guy. So good, so friendly. But yeah, this was Deliver Us the Moon. I want to say thank you again for having me here at Game Over Cancer. Second time I've been at a Game Over Cancer event. I was here last year as well, and I love these events. Great community, great cause. On the note of great cause, I've lost friends to cancer. That would be time, by the way, in the old timing, when your hand hits ground. I've lost friends and loved ones to cancer, so this is an important cause. If you can donate, donate. If you can't, there's a few more runs tonight, a few more. Tell some friends. Get people watching for those final runs. Bring in some good money, because this is all for a fantastic cause. So thank you again for having me. Much love to all of my friends out there, and much love to all of you. Continue being the awesome people you are.
Thank you so much for sharing this run with us. It was amazing. And yes, absolutely. If anybody can donate, definitely, if you can, get that in !D. But yeah, that was Deliver Us the Moon. Thank you so much, Heponwana. It was a fantastic game, and we love having you.
Thank you so much. And also, I did it real quick. You might not have noticed. I think I died a few times, so I'll be donating after I log off to make up for all those deaths that I'm sure happened.
We definitely appreciate it. And yes, make sure that you follow Heponwana on Twitch for more awesome speed running games. All right, everybody, do not go anywhere, because we are not done with the marathon yet. Next, we have Gunstar Superheroes by the Phantomire. So make sure that you get a quick stretch break, get some hydration, and we'll be right back.